and didn't ever really, because that was the job for the Mexican workers, or what we used to call migrant workers, when I was young.
Yeah.
And I like hard work. I've done a lot of hard work, and I like working with a crew of men, and that was one of the jobs I always kind of wanted, but never did. But
well, that's in our history. I don't know what happened to that, but in our history, our fathers, our grandfathers, our uncles were migrant workers here in this country. And they were, white people looking for jobs because they didn't have jobs, and they were traveling on
the rails.
But we have a situation now where there are a lot of jobless people, but they're not out there standing around or riding the rails or going where the picking is so much anymore.
Yeah.
They're collecting their checks.
At some point, I'm curious if we could talk about internet radio and why we have
I'm not pressed here.
this program. What's your sense of the value of internet radio?
Well, we can get on the radio. Here we are on the radio.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? What's the value of it? I don't know if anyone's listening and is interested in what we're saying, but it's a place where you can go and talk.
Yeah.
You have issues that you'd like to.
So let's say I just want to say this out loud in case someone has. How would they trip? And find us? You know what I mean? Like, here we are on the air. So they're on their computer in their home, and they go out to internet radio, or do they go to specifically Spreaker?
Well, they can go to Spreaker if they want to.
And how do they land by chance on our conversation?
Well, you can go to Spreaker and you can go check out what kind of programs are on there, and then you pick the ones that you want to follow. And also, you can people on Facebook. You can have friends that follow you on Facebook. You can start if you have a website. You can have
tweet.
You can tweet. Yeah, on Twitter. There are so many ways of using social media to get followers. It doesn't happen all at once, but
so what's happening? So in someone says, "Oh yeah, I know that name. There's the Scott Kersner Show."
Yeah,
I'm going to tune in to the Scott Kersner Show.
Yeah,
and so they find us here today. But otherwise, it's unlikely. I mean, we could be speaking to the ether.
Sure.
Yeah, if you have now what you name now, I'll bet you that the name Girl Friday on Saturday and Us would get at least momentary curiosity. That's one of the ways that people do it. There's one of the guys that has the Crazy Old Man Network, and he's on every day. So obviously he has at least one follower. And I check out to see if I want to listen to what he has to say.
How do you find it? You go to Spreaker?
Yeah, that's how I originally found him. I went to Spreaker and he was his show was listed, the Crazy Old Man Network.
Now, if you went to Google and you entered Crazy Old Man Network, would it pop up as a Spreaker show?
I think so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it would, yes.
There are car radios now that are also internet connected, that they can find programs from the internet. So it's another way of, it's new technology that's starting to pick this up.
Yeah, you can get to these radio shows, but there again, how would you know that you wanted to listen to Laura or to Girl Friday or to WS?
Well, they don't want you going on your dial and looking around for it while you're driving in your car, so you'd have to preload it somehow.
Well, that's the other thing. That there are podcasts that you can, speaking of preloading, you can, if you follow somebody, you find out they have a website, and you can see that, or on the Spreaker website, you can get a listing of all the shows by that person. and start following him.
Mm-hmm. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I like them a lot. I've not done that through Spreaker, but there's so many podcasts out there.
Yeah.
Even just National Public Radio. There's a lot available. And I listen to those quite often.
Yeah, KPFA, Pacifica Network, and so yeah, that's another.
Okay, I want to ask anybody here if they find the acceleration of Halloween an interesting topic.
The acceleration of Halloween.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, I was trying to look back to my youth and seeing what was Halloween back like when I was a child, and what's it like today. To me, today, Halloween is very much in our community celebrated almost year-round in some form. When my son-in-law comes into town, he says, you know, we have Women's Weekend, we have Lazy Bear Weekend, we have different weekends. And my son-in-law says...
And all of them have costumes, you mean?
Yeah, all of them have some sort of a costume recognition. And when our son-in-law comes into town, he says that he thinks that there's always some kind of weekend going on here. But particularly now, just been going on for over a week. We've been celebrating different clubs downtown, different.
Well, some of that was the fact that they had the Halloween parties and Halloween costume contests, not on Halloween night because Halloween night was a Wednesday night, so they had it the previous Saturday.
Yeah.
So some of the things took place on the weekends, and I don't know, you know, when the flood of children went all around the Watson-Loftman neighborhood. If that was Wednesday night or Saturday, was this actual or Thursday night?
This year it was Thursday.
Thursday, I mean, yeah.
I heard the parents complaining that the kids had to go to school the next morning all jacked up, and the teachers were going to be, you know, have an extra job on top of what they had to say about previous Halloween periods because of other. I'm getting distracted by you pointing, so I'm gonna.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yes, we have a very colorful town, and there are certain people that dress in costumes all year round, blah, blah, blah. But it seems like the thing is in our town, Halloween is as much an adult affair. And maybe that's what you're talking about more than it is a children's affair.
Well, and also the costume thing, if you mean celebrating that people wearing identifiable costume throughout the year. Also, it's because this is a tourist-related, a vacation-related place where people come here for different weekends, and they don't live here. It isn't just the town folks that are doing it all year round.
Well, something that's happening different here on actual Halloween night. All of the downtown, including Safeway, including the gas stations, they're opening up their doors to Halloween trick-or-treaters. And they're really, I mean, they're giving out candy like crazy. And then these kids are going home with pillowcases filled with candy. And it's all supported by their families and everything. So there's a lot of not just costumes, but a lot of junk food being consumed and passed out. And
well, we started doing something when my son was around 11 or 12. We would buy the candy from him.
Oh, buy it from him?
Yeah, he could have a certain amount that evening. And then that was it. We would buy the rest, and he would.
That's a good idea.
He would rather take the $15 than have all that candy.
Then
so that works out.
Candy.
Well, I hid it and ate it myself over 3 or 4 months and became fat. Fatter. But no, sometimes I gave it away, and sometimes. But the whole point was to get the candy really away from him because it wasn't. He got just so stupid on it, you know. You just get so stupid and checked out.
Speaking of getting fat on Halloween candy, there was a story in the newspaper, a woman that was going to give to overweight kids, to fat kids that came to her door. She was going to give them a letter instead, just advising them to have better nutritional habits. What do you think of that?
I'd play a trick on her. That's what I'd do.
What would you do?
I don't know. I'd
Soap her windows?
or something.
Tip over her outhouse.
Yeah,
Tip
yeah.
over her outhouse. Put her wagon up on her roof of her
Mhm.
house.
I'd egg her front door.
Oh,
Something.
ooh.
Yeah.
You know, what do you mean a letter? Who are you to? What are you? What?
Yeah. Yeah, that's,
What is this?
that's a pretty dangerous
Look
thing
at
to
this is
do.
a letter. Well, you look pretty fat yourself.
Yeah, I got a letter for you too, and I'm going to roll it up around a rock.
Well, the worst people are the ones who answer the door and they go, "Do you know how much money I've spent on this stupid candy, children?" You know, because I know that a lot of people in that neighborhood spend like over $60
Wow.
on candy,
Wow.
and it is kind of an absurd thing, and not enough. Well, Dr. Evil's Haunted House, which I've never been to. Have you?
No.
I heard it was quite good,
Oh.
and there
Who's-
are some Dr. Evil's Haunted House.
Where is it?
It's in Old Jay's Amusement.
Oh yeah.
And I've heard really good things about it, but I
Yeah.
don't go. And I think that the how shall I say the
Creativity.
no, I was going to say the
Spooky.
this crazy stop it this arrival, this lunacy about zombies that has taken over the country.
Mm,
I'd like to have that be a shift in our conversation because the
okay.
zombies thing is, to me, is the biggest distraction of all. Forget the sports and the TV, but this sort of phenomenon regarding zombies is
What about werewolves?
zombies are worse because zombies are our dead.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
right.
we're
Our non-thinking
we're
dead.
disconnected from our dead in our culture, and I think the zombie phenomenon is only furthering that mentality. It disturbs me deeply.
It's opposite from the Day of the Dead
yeah.
celebration. It's not where we...
Oh yes, the opposite. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, and I have to say, I admit, and I'm not a party pooper. I love to have a good time, and I love a great imagination and good makeup work and all of that. But you know, I think that when you've lost people in your life, the last thing you want to imagine is them crawling out of that spot that we put them in.
Oh, you mean the zombie
Yeah,
spot?
zombies. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I just think that that's you're right. It's the
Well-
opposite of Day of the Dead.
Well, do you don't? You're not saying that you do imagine your departed loved ones coming back as zombies, are you?
Well, how could anyone not imagine that?
I didn't. I'm not imagining it right now. I'm thinking about my parents and so on. I'm not thinking about them as zombies.
Me neither. That's why I don't like the zombie phenomenon. I don't want to.
You want to start thinking of
No, I don't want to. I mean, why?
I avoid those movies or whatever they are. I don't like them. They're ugly.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
negative. But the children, I mean, the movie industry is the one that's promoting it. The movie industry, the TV.
Well, I don't know if that's
Well, there
so.
are those that say that telling your kids scary stories, letting them get scared, is good for them. That helps them channel those kind of fears into something they can handle. They realize that they're not.
That's why we took
They're
our
not
kids
scared
to
to death.
scary movies when they were little and they hate us for it.
Oh no, no. But those were scary because they were realistic.
Well, let's say reading old Edgar Allan Poe stories or frightening poetry or any one of the stories about the Wicked Witch or even the Wizard of Oz is terrifying. It's terrifying. But the zombie phenomenon is something else. I really do think that Darlene's right, that it's the opposite of the Day of the Dead. And it's, I think it is a really major distraction. And part of the reason I'm bringing that up is that two friends of mine in the last few weeks have lost family members.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going back, to the Midwest, for example, for a funeral of any kind. They're just...
Why is that? They can't afford it?
No, it's not what it's about. Oh, she was old and nobody's going to do anything anyway.
Oh, they're desensitized
Yes.
to loss.
Right, and so I'm like, oh my God, this is so dangerous. Not only dangerous for the person who has lost their mother, let's say, but it's dishonoring the mother.
It's true.
I think there's a...
We got 30 seconds.
Okay, we have
There's an
25 seconds.
Well, I can tell the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can say a lot in 25 seconds.
No, we're going to be
Go
gone.
for it.
So I'm just saying that
Yeah.
this is something that people really, we're losing our grip here on
We
this.
are.
On this.
And now we're losing our grip on the time of the Girl Friday on Saturday and Us show, on the Scott Kirsner show, and we got to say
Laura.
aloha to you.